Testing, testing. Make It TV followers, viewers, supporters, and listeners across the globe. Thank you for taking the time out to stop our channel, even if it's just for a little second, and tune into another insightful topic. Okay, just as promised from earlier, we hope you guys not only are having a happy Thanksgiving, but we hope you're still enjoying your little Thanksgiving. Maybe over full bellies and after football games and stuff, we can get serious about a current topic and chit chat about it a little bit over here because that's what I'm here to do. For those new to the channel, welcome 1,000 times. We're happy to have you. You're encouraged and invited to absolutely hit the like button and the subscribe bell. This way, you receive notifications when we go live. Okay. Uh, and every time we post new content. Once again, we want to make, right at the peak of the Black Friday uh, period right now. Today's date marks 11/27/25. If you put it together, the 27th date, I feel like it's something spiritually significant about it. Because, like, there's the number seventh in the date of the 27th, and then the year 2025 abbreviated is just the number 25, but when you add 2 and 5 together, you get the number 7. So that's the number 7 twice already in today's date. I don't know. I pay attention to some stuff like that. But that was just some fun mathematical spirituality, if you will. No, I don't believe in numerology and nothing like that. But if numbers pop out at you and you have a keen sense for numbers now, then it is what it is. I'm gonna actually start sharing my theories a little more too. Like when I see numbers click up like that and add up on certain dates, I believe it's time we start paying attention to it. But that's just me. Uh, this story popped out at me. You know how it's a holiday, you scan through your media, social media's news, and I couldn't believe that this story was being reported over 14 days ago, but I just saw it for myself today. Uh, and I was definitely moved because whether I came across the story or not, this means that even in parts of the world like Australia, it doesn't matter what nationality, culture you are or come from, nobody likes being lied to, period, right? Like nobody pays people to lie to them, do they? I'm just asking. It's one thing to pay people for the truth or to pay people for some type of information. And then even with that, you got to be careful. That's why I'd rather just go to God. And when I really want the truth, I'd rather go to God about something like that. Because even paying for the truth does not guarantee that you're going to get that. This is just my opinion. Everything I state on this live topic stream tonight, by the way, is just my commentary, reaction, and opinion to real topics. But when I think about this, as a human being, though it's probably been going on for generations, years, this is this is common. People will try to pay for the truth, and it's like that's what show you is something special about a truth to me. because you using a piece of paper or money currency to get the quote unquote real truth out of somebody is crazy. It's just crazy, bro. Like, how is that still guaranteeing that they're going to give you that? Even if they know it, even if they know the truth. Like, and this is where what you call scams end up being birthed. You know what I'm saying? A scammer is going to look at how desperate you are. That's one of the first things they're filling out, if you ask me. Because they know that they probably are not going to get your money without winning your trust, right? But we're talking about scammers for a minute, okay? Because if you just have a product that sells naturally, something like bleach, I bet bleach and ammonia makes billions of dollars a year, even if they don't do Clorox commercials, because most people trust what bleach does. They trust what bleach, the properties that's in it, and what it's known to do. It helps people clean up. I'm just using some kind of example, right? There's not too much more bleach companies have to explain. And you don't hear every day that bleach companies are scamming people. Like it's a product that like naturally sells itself, right? When I think business, which I haven't near touched the scope of a lot of things I want to do just yet. But that's what, even with myself personally, sets me different, I would say, than a lot of other maybe entrepreneurs or freelancers. I like to go into business with ideas that sell themselves. So we already gonna know. Sorry, y'all. I had a notification come in. Let me stay on topic with what I was saying though. The reason I prefer this, and yes, I went to business school and all this different stuff, but even there, they can't teach you the appropriate direction to go so that you're never considered a scammer. You could be doing everything legally right. If somebody wants to set you up and just say your business scam them, they can't. You know what I'm saying? I think we should take the time to think about this, especially days like today where you got a lot of people struggling because there's so many economical changes and all of this too. That's one of the number one time and periods that you're going to see scammers, robbers, and stuff come out. Like, let's be honest. But to me, even if I were to start my own business, not just these side hustles and gigs people know I can do, like literal corporations or businesses in my near future, it's not just about getting money to me. It's about selling a service, a product, or something that sells itself. That way, people are not able to share, spin the arrow or spin the bottle and say, yeah, that person right there is a scammer. Her business is scamming everybody. You're not going to be able to do that with my work because I put in a lot of time and effort into making sure that whatever idea that I choose to invest into, because investment is not just money, that's your time, that's your soul, that's your heart. I like to make sure that if I'm gonna put all those things, all that valuable things in from my own personal space into a business, that my business is doing more to work for me. And I'm not telling anybody how to do what they do, but that's gonna be my strategy moving forward into the future. Looking at what times are now, looking at times what times used to be, which I can only see so far into that because I've only been around for so long. But that's the point of research and things like this. It seems like the businesses and products and services that sell themselves, once again, bleach or Clorox is like a great example. The less work you have to do. All the bleach company people got to do is keep reproducing. All over the world, people are going to always buy bleach. I'm just trying to give a, like, from a point that anybody can understand. Now, I started the topic off saying this because when it's more like work, like what this lady was accused of, which I'm finna read straight from the article real quick. Uh, Let me see. Let me read straight from this article. I'm gonna tell y'all. This article was published by BBC. Uh, the title that caught my attention. The title of this news story. I was like, what? It says Australian police arrest fortune teller accused of running $46 million scam. It says police arrest two Sydney women over alleged 70 million fortune teller fraud. So as you begin to scan through these stories, I noticed that like one says 46 million, one says 70 million. Either way, 1 million is a lot of money. And it's pretty much trying to tell us in so many words, these women, oh my God, like they had to been doing this. Either they were doing it for a minute to rack up that kind of money, or even if they just had this scam going for 2 or 3 years, they had to been charging people a lot of money to have got up to, oh, okay, it's 46 million in their currency, 70 million in our currency, if that makes sense. It says a mother and daughter duo. Anybody who wants to read along or whatever, this is a article posted by BBC on the 15th, I'm sorry, on the 13th of November, 2025. A mother, they have different titles and positions, just like you can almost consider them ranks, just like with any other business or company. You move up in rank with some of these spiritual practices. And people do, they indulge a lot into these ranks and titles and initiations. But me personally, I never really cared for that. Whatever my experiences were that made me say, you know what, I'm not gonna wait till somebody accredits me as approved. With some things, you can't help but to do that because you're not gonna be approved unless you have the things that you should be approved. But there are certain parts of life. Why do we sit around and wait? Like, oh, I can't be a preacher because I haven't been ordained as a preacher. Everybody don't believe in it no more. You can't sit here and tell somebody who's actually gifted in what they do without I ain't gonna say without education, but let's say they didn't go through the same training or specialization. Sorry y'all, that's my ringtone in the background. I'm trying to stop this notification. Anyways, not everybody like waits on that anymore. For example, you could say I'm a mechanic, and the average person just gonna ask you, well, how long you been working on cars or automobiles? I mean, they should ask for more credentials than that, but a lot of people don't. You know what I'm saying? They just be happy to get their car fixed. That's why you see a lot of street mechanics out there, like, or they start their own garages or workstations. Uh, but anyways, I was just trying to give a few examples because it named what their rank was supposed to be or whatever with the work that they do. Okay, let's see. Where was I at? It says they have been charged over allegedly scamming almost 70 million from vulnerable Vietnamese targets in Australia. So that's another thing I found interesting. Like, just because they were in Australia didn't mean they were specifically targeting Australian people. I just paid attention to that part of the article. Like, it said they were targeting vulnerable Vietnamese people in Australia. So as with any other place, just because you're in Cambodia doesn't mean it's only Cambodians over there. Just because you're in Peru doesn't mean you're only going to see native Peruvians over there. Anywhere you go, a lot of places are more diverse today in modern day history. Uh, and I just think that's sad. It said they seem to have targeted these Vietnamese vulnerabilities specifically. The mother, 53, was arrested in the exclusive suburb of Dover Heights in Sydney on Wednesday. And I think Sydney is a pretty well known place there in Australia. It says, along with her daughter, 25. Police say they were an intrinsic part of a highly sophisticated fraud and money laundering syndicate. I'm reading directly from the article here, guys. You can find it yourself at bbc.com, okay? They seem like a pretty reliable source. I listen to BBC News a lot personally, but that's where I'm reading from. That's where I'm getting my information from about this story. The mother allegedly convinced her victims to take out loans. This is crazy already, what I'm reading here, keeping a share for herself by telling them she foresaw a billionaire in their future. Now, let me pause. Let me pause. I have a reaction to what I just read. Uh, that's crazy to be able to convince somebody to go take out a loan and share some of the money with them. If they are already vulnerable targets, which means they didn't have much money, you don't need somebody to tell you to go take out a loan. And even a lot of financial specialists or advisors, they not just going to encourage you to go take out a loan. That's what's crazy. Like, we all know what a loan is, and you pretty much put yourself in deeper debt unless you pay that money back. Okay. uh the mother allegedly convinced her victims to take out a billionaire in their future. I wonder how her victims ended up, like, if they come together behind the scenes and begin to discuss, like, yeah, she told me I was gonna meet a billionaire. She told me that too. She told me that too. Like, what did these scamming fortune tellers think that people can't come together and kind of speculate about what they're being told? Because this is a very interesting news story. And shout out to BBC and other article headliners that put this story out for us, because this needs to be talked about. Thank you, God, for each and every distraction. This tells a lot when you talking about specific topics, and then strange distractions just start going on around your house. I don't care. I'm gonna call that out. Maybe this is what, because people be like, where you get your inspiration from and motivation from, bro? Why wouldn't that inspire you? Every time you giving your reaction or commentary to real stories across the globe, and yeah, you could be at home by yourself, just sudden distractions out of nowhere when you give it and finish what I was saying. Y'all don't think that's weird? More fortune tells like this. Look, now it's buffering. So, anyways, if a woman is story, anybody, the vulnerable is, and I appreciate Kim Kardashian for coming out speaking on it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but I do know that can happen to the rich or the poor. You just would think the rich wouldn't need a fortune teller. Like, you done already been successful. And of course, if you go to a fortune teller, it's not used to people like with money coming to them for it, of course they gonna look to scam you. You know what I'm saying? All they know is you got money, or they heard you got money. But it's crazy how God, in His own special way, is like always being exposed. Whether you have money or not, why are you so victim to? You got to understand, a fortune teller, yeah, they might be gifted and all that, but see, all they telling you is words. Words can make or break you. Don't they say that? Words can make or break you. Do they not say that? Have they not been saying it since before I was born? They said sticks and stones may break my bones, but words have never hurt me. But it's people sitting out here hurt still from replaying words that was told to them 20 years ago, 15 years ago. Why do people not find it significant? Stop just focusing on the words and tap more into the energies, tap more into the frequency, tap more into who might be wearing what mask behind those words. They said a pair of lips will say anything. What's that quote they say? A pair of lips will say anything or something like that. I mean, a wise man also said, yeah, because they said the devil is a liar. Now I say that too, but there are things about it. He'll make the lie so creative, so juicy. He'll even throw a little bit of piece of the truth in there. But the ultimate goal is for you to trip up over the lie. Is it not? He can never tell the full honest truth, which we're not saying fortune tellers and all of that is the devil. But look how this lady got arrested over scamming people out of $70 million, just telling them that they're gonna meet a billionaire soon. That's what this article say. She told each and every one. Now that's just stupid. You told every client the same thing about their future. That's no different from telling every client that they are chosen. Every client that come to you, oh yeah, you just going through what you're going through because you're chosen. Well, what's the significance of being chosen? It got to be deeper than that. It got to be. I mean, this is why I personally have not paid for a reading yet. Because, like, me and that person will probably be sitting there not going back and forth just about their words. But, like, when it comes to my insight about that, like, I never want to be sitting on a judge stand having to explain why I told somebody something. What I'm going to say, oh, it was my specialty. It was, this is what I do. Now, if you tell people they don't fall off into a ditch somewhere, fall apart. The kids went and expect people to not see that. Talk about why they blood on fortune tellers. If they saying they life, they might have just had some questions about their circumstances. But you mean it's tell me actual evidence of their whole life falling apart. Since talking to you, it says a lot about your advisement. I don't think she got arrested for advising people out of water like these stories of them actually being willing to challenge these advisors, whether it's a financial advisor, a therapy advisor, it doesn't matter. A spiritual advisor, because you're going to see a lot more of that too. People, all of a sudden, this is one of the top 10 careers that people are getting off into. I find it very interesting. Because if everybody's trying to be an advisor, who needs to be guided anymore? Maybe they just see, oh, this is some kind of quick scam or scheme. I'll just start telling people I know what's best. And God see them doing it, so then they want to look crazy when the feds are knocking at their door, like this story in Australia. They want to look crazy like, what? I was just advising people. What I'm doing is harmless. Everybody's so quick to jump into their profession, though. Okay. But like I said, you see an uprising and more people wanting to challenge these people in court, too, because it's like advising them is one thing. Their bank statements starting to end up them looking like, are they life falling apart? And specifically the area of their finances, I don't care. That's strange as hell to start happening to you after talking to an advisor whose goal, because usually they promote and market that their goal is to help your life advance or to help your life get better. Any type of advisor, that's pretty much the goal. It used to be. They claim that their goal is to help you live a more healthier life, to help you make healthier decisions and stuff like this. And if all of your clients end up broke and suicidal and their life falling apart after your advisement, what does that say about your business? So hopefully we do see more advisors share what you call success stories, real success stories that we can confirm. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, after me taking this person's advice, these type of things started happening in my life. That's why I never give myself that title, oh, I'm an advisor. I was, even when I was like helping people publish their books, I called myself a publishing services coordinator. That means I'm helping you put the coordinates together. The book is still your responsibility. Quick, put some title up there, but do know you're going to be held accountable to every title you answer to. It's up to you. Uh, like I said, that accreditation process is more important to some than others, because just because a person is accredited or disciplined or uh, have some type of specialty degree in what they do, still don't mean that they won't make mistakes. Sorry, y'all, I just had to burp. I don't know. That's all I think it is. Like that, they're still trying to do a magnificent job and covering up who's truly gifted uh, by trying to hurry up and steal titles and labels and place them on who they want to. It's actually quite funny to watch, because you can place them on whoever you want to, but still, results is what's going to truly tell the story. Not just the results in their personal lives, but the results in the advisor's life. Does this advisor's life seem to be elevating only in the area of finances? Okay, that's great, because they say your gift gonna make room for you. But why would it make room for you and tear up other people's? I don't know. I'm just trying to understand. They said the best leaders create more leaders. What do you mean? And that should be the result that you see with any type of advisor that you are out here in this world. If you got a group of 30 clients, all 30 clients should have some, forget them speaking on the changes in their life. People should see that. They should be asking you, oh my God, what are you doing different? Who have you been talking to? Can I get their business card? Not, I mean, word of mouth and all of that is still cool and I believe in it. But no, we talking about results where people are literally consulting in you. They coming to you asking you, man, I don't know what you did in Betty's life, but Betty is shining. I see diamonds all around Betty. Her marriage is restored. And I just had to come see about you to see if I can get these same results. That's what true leadership, like your work speaking for you. When they say it make room for you, be specific. Well, since you want to quote that scripture, be specific. How is it going to make room for that person? And wouldn't it make room for the clients and the people that they're helping too? These are just insightful topics and questions that I hope we all start to more deliberate on, because that's fine that y'all taking these people to court and suing them and all of this. But you got to look at what was going on in you internally, that a spiritual advisor tell you to go take out a loan and give them half the money. That should tell you something ain't right already. You know, if a person come to you, you know that you charge this, like a hairstylist. You got a lot of good ones out there that might understand that you don't make as much money as your other clients, or you don't make as much money as what they're charging. Now you got some that's just gonna tell you, well, you need to go somewhere where you can afford the services. Okay. There's other ones that'll work with you. That's why I started off with like beauticians and stuff like this. You come in $50 short, they might still work with you. To me, that's honest work. Not just saying, well, I'm high value. If you can't afford me, then go to another spiritual advisor. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Or where when you see these haunted movies, horror stories, you don't see no those movies and a priest to come help them expel a demon. Maybe the people do, but they never show that part. Not even in the movies. Hollywood doesn't even show that. Hollywood does not show people in these movies, oh, let me go find a priest or somebody I can pay. You know, they'll give it off like the advisor or the spiritualist or whoever it is wants to help them from the kindness of their heart, because they feel what the family is going through. And when you think of ER services, the emergency room at any hospital, yes, the services aren't free, but it's not like they charging you up front, because their main goal is to get you help in that moment. It's called the emergency room. You know, they'll talk about billing and credit once you actually in the room and getting care. That's just how it works. So I don't know. I'm just trying to understand. You know what I'm saying? You can tell when people work, it's just the money. I don't know why people think ain't no skill in the world you can make out loans. poverty is high, low income is more. Okay. It says the mother 53 was arrested in an exclusive suburb. So listen to this. She's living in an exclusive suburb in Dover Heights in Sydney, Australia, but all her victims were vulnerable targets of Australia. Police say they were a intrinstic part of a highly sophisticated money laundering syndicate. So that's who they truly were. They were wearing the mask of uh what's they called? Wearing the mask of the titles or the labels of fortune tellers. She was refused bail due to appear in court on Thursday. Her daughter was granted bail with a court date in January. The mother faces 39 charges, including directing the activities of a criminal group and dishonestly obtaining financial advantage by deception. I think we should all pay very close to this article. Her daughter was charged with 7 offenses, including recklessly dealing with proceeds of crime and being a part of a criminal group. During the early morning arrest at the pair's multi-million-dollar mansion, police seized financial documents, mobile phones, luxury handbags. I mean, you're a spiritualist. What are you doing with all these handbags? To each his own. A 40-gram gold bar worth $10,000 and $6,600 in casino chips. That's crazy. Police said the mother was an influential and trusted member of her community and as a fortune teller. So people trusted her work. She would give readings to clients, some who divulged they were in financial hardship. I don't know why this article says some. I'm sure all of her clients were in a financial hardship. And this leads me to ask the question, is this the main reason that people go look for spiritual help? I thought people look for that, for soul saving reasons or because they don't understand some curse in their life or so you mean to tell me all these people running around here feeling financially cursed? That's why there's an uptick in like never before in today's time of people running to get fortunes told about their futures. If you see that there's a problem with your money, there's nothing a fortune teller can do for you. And then how are you saving money giving them all your money? I'm just trying to make this make sense. If one reading is $50 and you know you need to be saving money for your rent next month, like come on, bro. Like how is that a good investment at that time? I can understand if, like I said, if this person is like honest in they work and they saying, "Hey, I understand you don't have $50, you got bills to pay. I'm gonna go ahead and do this reading for you. Just pay me when you can." That looks more honest than, what I'm saying. No, just find a way to pay me, or you can't afford my services. Call me back when you have it. You know, because think about it with some of those fortune telling hotlines and stuff. If you don't have the money right there ready on your debit card, they're not about to give you any services either. You're asking somebody to look into your fortune, into your future. See, it's one thing for them just to go look into it, in my opinion. You paying them to look into it is a whole nother. Because maybe they wouldn't even knew you existed or been concerned about your future at all. They wouldn't have been put on to who you are had you not came in there with some money asking them to look into your future. That's two different things. Okay. It says she would predict that a billionaire would come to their aid. She told every one of her clients this, allegedly. And this would happen sooner rather than later if they took out a loan and paid her half of the money. I don't know how people fell for this. I'm just reading the article. I don't think they fall for it. I think when you're in a vulnerable state, once again, like the article did speak on, if you're in a vulnerable state, you're more likely, we didn't say that you are going to, but you are more likely to fall for scams and frauds because you're always looking for a quick way. Just because we live in a time of convenience doesn't mean money is something that you should still be trying to get conveniently. You can still go to jail if it's found that it wasn't gotten right. That's all I into uncovering one of the most sophisticated financial crime syndicates. This is what the detective said that he has seen in his career at the helm of Financial Crime Squad. Said department Said Detective Gordon R. Benha. I think that's how you say his name. Arbenja or Arbenha. His name is Gordon Arbenha, commander of the Financial Crime Squad. Police claim the criminals group's activities include large scale personal, business, and home loan fraud against multiple financial institutions. According to an investigation by the Sydney Morning Herald, the mother and daughter duo are linked to what's been dubbed the Penthouse Syndicate, as the alleged ringleader lived in a $18 million penthouse. That is so crazy. They always do. They're always living some bigger luxury life than, and I just say with spiritual work, that does say a lot. Cause in my opinion, you should have proof that you are making more leaders or leaders who actually end up going further than you. If you're some type of leader, I don't care what kind of work you do, and everybody under you only stays at a certain level, what does that really say? You mean to tell me nobody out of your mission ended up surpassing you? Because in the real world, that should be happening. That's actually a healthy sign that you are helping people to advance in life. You mean to tell me everybody who follow you or is up under you never got any further than you? That's gonna be a big red flag. I don't care with any leader that you're following. Why aren't people advancing? I said the same thing when about government benefits here in America. That's another category, right? That has nothing to do with fortune telling or anything like that. But why is it that everybody that apply for y'all benefits, they don't ever surpass the caseworkers? Nobody gets off probation in the system and surpass the finances of what a probation officer might make yearly. Nobody ever gets their life together in that way. You mean to tell me they just get stuck in housing program agreements and food stamps and Medicaid? They never get further than that? I'm just trying to be clear. It's like we understand the assistance and helping people, but anytime you probe into somebody's life so hard that they can no longer, that's what I think is weird about the whole probing and being nosy, and they claim they're investigating people's lives. The probe should never get so deep that it's stopping that person from literally advancing and possibly advancing and surpassing you. So that's something right there. Police claim the group defrauded major Australian banks of up to 250 million. And what's wrong with people? It's just like they greedy. 250 million, that means this duo did not plan on slowing down or stopping. They were going to try to get every drip of dime, nickels, and quarters that they could get. It says with allegedly corrupt bank staff approving loans. Yeah, because the banks have to be corrupt too. I didn't think about that. To sit there and approve the loans in the first place to help the syndicate buy multiple properties in Sydney. So I guess these people come and make deals. They come. This is crazy. They come over here, make deals with the whole town, city, country, just to keep a scam going. More than a dozen people have already been arrested, charged with a range of offenses, including fraud and money laundering, in what is believed to be one of the largest cases in Australia. Police said they expect to make more arrests with a focus on the professional facilitators of the criminal group, including lawyers, accountants, and property developers. So this is a big deal globally. Fortune teller scams, as you guys see. And this lady was living luxury, baby. I don't know why they get to doing that. Like all those luxuries won't tell on you. Most people today are struggling in the real world. In the real world where people are not scamming or getting over on people or giving false advice just to take money from people, Most people are making it paycheck to paycheck. Most people are picking up second and third shifts and two and three jobs just to pay their bills, not living on luxury properties and driving luxury cars. You better be prepared to show how you accumulated those things when majority of the masses is struggling. You see what I'm saying? Why wouldn't you stick out like a sore thumb? And you driving ghost cars and luxury homes. It's one thing to have one. I said luxury homes with an S. It's like they try to stick people in legal positions where that would appear that they're not doing anything criminal at all. And then they just do it. They do it under these pretenses. I don't know how to explain it, but it's so weird. The whole time, it's a fortune teller working with them. Because at first I didn't understand it. Like, what do you need a fortune teller, a psychic, to help you run a crime ring for? But now the truth is coming out. They feel like these people can tell them if and when they're going to get caught, or if and when if somebody's watching them. And that alone has to be some type of violation against spiritual law and code. When you're only using those gifts to, or people that are gifted in that way to help you not get caught, like God is stupid, because he's not. But that's crazy. Like, oh, okay, I'm gonna use these people to let me know. So when I need to look over my shoulder, or that is crazy. That is, it's just a crazy revelation. It would make you look guilty if you got to keep 10 readers in your pocket every second, so you know what's going on in your own life. That's where you get caught up in a spiritual loop anyway. You keeping this person on a payroll, feeding them all this money so they can tell you information about other people's lives and your own, so you don't get caught for doing something. And then the whole time, like I said, you could be paying that person money to help you predict the future all you want to. That person at the end of the day be the one to sell you out too. The one you paid the most to help keep feeding you information. See, anything you make a valuable asset to you can easily be a valuable asset to the next person. I don't think people pay attention to that. Of course, if it's something like an oxygen machine and you have to use that on a day-to-day basis just to breathe, that might not be considered a valuable asset to the next person as much as you, because you're now using it just to survive. They could still cash in on it, I'm sure. If a crackhead or somebody wanted to take an oxygen machine and sell it, they probably could. So I don't mean in that way. I'm just saying what is valuable to you could be valuable to the next person. So people will look at your life and be like, well, I don't see anything in your life as valuable, so I don't understand your life. Maybe you don't understand that about me, that I already know. People look at that. They actually try to size up your value and who you are according to what assets are valuable to you. Why would I want, even if I had a bunch of assets, I wouldn't want people knowing it. I wouldn't be a showboat like a lot of celebrities. Honestly, when I think about it, I wouldn't do that. They would have to do that. They would literally have to sit there and probe and spy and find out, because I wouldn't just go showboat it. Look at how people are today. All they got to do is identity scam you, and now your assets are theirs. Not legally, but temporarily. That's crazy. And then they hire psychics on the side to let them know who knows what they're doing. It's weird. So if this don't make crime worse, I don't know what does. I'm not saying people should be against what I'm saying, psychics and fortune tellers and stuff like this. But do remember, whether they're a psychic teller, fortune teller, or not, words are words. A pair of lips can tell anybody anything. I could dress up as a fortune teller tomorrow if I wanted to and just start promoting myself as that and just start telling people anything and charging them too. It's no difference from people going to church, but really, no church charges you to walk through the door and sit on a pew. So I don't know which one is worse. There are some of these spiritual guidance practices. No, they're not talking to you unless you pay them money. Period. Period. Point blank. So we got that part of the understanding when it comes to my opinion. But after they pay you the money, they don't have these guys, or maybe there's something they should start doing, because more people are starting to try to sue people who they feel like gave them an inaccurate reading. Okay, maybe y'all should start having these people sign contracts saying, "Hey, I am not liable for anything that happened in your life after you get this reading." But I've never heard of them doing that. I heard that there are money exchanges and the people just trust them. They trust whatever their they say their psychic or fortune telling abilities are, and they just trust it. This I'm just saying how it seems to have always been. This is very funny how, like, what, like with other kind of business contracts or exchanges, there are usually contracts involved. Maybe they don't have people sign contracts because there's something deeper going on when it comes to uh quote unquote readings. Okay. And until I understand more personally, I'm not going to. How much people call themselves causing confusion, chaos, all that around me. I'm happy that I've learned how to decipher what's natural between what's unnatural. Once we lose touch with that, how do you really know what's true or not anymore? For example, you have disasters, you have what they call man made disasters, and you have what they call natural disasters. Okay. So as long as we remember that, people should be okay. How dare you just look at a disaster in your life and not want to probe deeper and ask yourself, was this disaster man made or natural? Was natural would look more like a coincidence or accident, or but anything that's like patternistic is gonna give ritualistic vibes. So it does pay people to start looking at that. Like, don't just look at the chaos and destruction as your life as coincidence when it could have been a whole man-made disaster. That's all this come down to. If people looked at that more, you wouldn't need a spiritualist to tell you anything. The thing about prophecy too, you never really ask for it. A prophet is just going to come deliver a message or a word or insight, and they're not going to charge you a dime or dollar either. I don't know if you've ever had an experience with a prophet or prophetess, feel free to leave your opinions in the chat. But that's what I say the difference is. People that use this term, "Oh, I my gift makes room for me." That's great. But never let it make so much room for you that you are stealing from others. Let's be real. And if it was making so much room for you, why would it be so much evidence of psychics and fortune tellers stealing from people? Period. If your gift truly is making room for you, there should be no evidence surrounding your life right now that you are stealing from anybody, because you claim your gift make room for you. Not every one of us go around here hollering it, though we know that is a Bible text. That's like somebody with the Bible, and they only seem to use these scriptures pertaining about money. Oh, a man don't work, don't eat. Or, oh, if you keep talking about money, we're going to find something suspicious about you. You don't want always talking about money. And it don't mean something wrong with people because they don't sit around talking about money like you all the time. Hell, they could have a lot of money too. They could be sitting on it or working on something right now. They ain't got to talk to you about it. You throwing bait out there talking about what you think about money only makes you look like You know what I'm saying? You want people to come to you for money, or you want people to look for you for advice. Like, as a spiritual worker, I wouldn't want people only coming to me about them feeling like something is happening with their finances. That makes no sense. I would tell them, I would advise you to go to a financial advisor, because they really do have those financial advisors, counselors, accountants. What would a person in spiritual work need to help you with your money for? Just questions I'm throwing out there. You know what I mean? Y'all are going to the wrong kind of advisors. If you need to be advised about your money, you need to go to somebody specialized in money. A fortune teller can only tell you what they see in your future, and then how you know you safe after that. Now they just seen you gonna be a millionaire in your future. And I'm sure no fortune telling ball or fortune telling cards is gonna tell anybody the exact date that they're gonna win the lottery, the exact date and time that they're gonna win this or that. The spiritual world might reveal it to that person because it is their prophecy, or it's destined for their future. But now wonder God looked at these practices as unhealthy. He know that people intentions be they intentions are not always 100%. You know what I'm saying? Authentic. You know, you cannot guarantee yourself that everybody you allow to look into your future. That's why I feel like people be doing it on purpose. Like, maybe they saw something in somebody else's future. They go share it with 100 other people. And next thing you know, you looking up and 100 people you don't know is after you. But now it all makes sense. One person went and saw that you're supposedly going to meet a billionaire one day, or you're supposedly going to sign $1 million contract. And then why would you be telling that same narrative to a bunch of poor people and not expect, you know what I'm saying, a lot of confusion out of that? If it was in the stars for every poor person to be rich, we would see a whole different outcome right now. Let me find out they're just using spiritualists and people's vulnerabilities, I don't know, to benefit off of them. That's why I shared a quote, one of my inspirational quotes today, guys. Feel free to check out the shorts anytime of our previously recorded inspirational quotes. We share them pretty much weekly. But it came to me to say today that if anybody on Thanksgiving, this is what I thought to myself as a grateful thought. If anybody, if I didn't learn anything else in 2025, if anybody is going to benefit off of your struggle, they don't speak on this scripture, but it's a scripture that says, those who suffer with me shall reign with me. And reign is spelled REIGN. Okay? Like, in other words, I take that as, if I'm suffering, if I'm struggling, I should be the one benefiting off of it when it comes time to. Like, for example, you've had companies like DoorDash and AT&T passing out settlements. If you qualify, if you're approved, of course, you might be entitled to a settlement. You know, there's many commercials and ads that talk about that all the time. Well, you wouldn't be entitled to a settlement if you were not suffering or didn't go through something. There are sometimes settlements attached to these type of things. But of course, if the devil keeping you somewhere in the dark, hidden and scared of life, you wouldn't know what you're entitled to according to your struggle. And when people start waking up to that, like, hey, what are my rights? What are my routes? What are my avenues? What are my options according to my struggle? That's better than just sitting in the struggle, not doing anything about it. And you will never be wasting your time, even if you invest 6 months to a year into just straight research. You write a journal, you reserve a journal just to write your struggles down, and then you do research on the avenues that you can take to try to defeat your struggle, or look at maybe help that you're entitled to due to your struggle. That means your name, your birthday, your social security number, because you better believe scammers are aware of this. So it comes down to that. Anytime you're looking just for a get rich quick scheme, to get out of your struggle because you're in a vulnerable position, you can expect to be scammed again. Because people can see when you're struggling too. It's not that, people say, oh, people trying to pretend like, oh, we don't care. We don't care when people are struggling. We're not bothering them. It's a whole target on your back. Oh, just if you look, LOOK. It's not about illusions, or we're talking about illusions that make sense if you're going to be an illusionist. You know what I'm saying? Make the illusions make sense. Because, of course, if you look like you're struggling, you might just, yourself looking like a target to the wrong people. What do you mean? But then again, you can't look too fancy because you might also become a target. That's the days we live in. You can't look like you're struggling. You can't look like you're doing well. So I made up in my mind, how about I just look like I'm blessed then? Those things that money can't pay for, I'm more grateful for today. But yeah, like, are we gonna just pretend reality doesn't have a look? That's why people judge you off of the way you look before you even open your mouth, before you even tell your story happened, or how you obtain that scar or wound, right? But struggles that aren't obvious, all they can do is put theories around your life. Cause they like, well, she don't look like what she been through. She don't look like this or that happened to her. Or she just overcomes them. So that's dangerous too, because now you got a world full of people trying to throw struggles and darts at you just to see how you bounce back from them. Because they don't understand how to bounce back from their own. But people say positive, constructive, spiritual work is not shouldn't be conclusive, and it is. You still have a lot of people who don't know how to piece themselves back together after brokenness, and places like the church house or mental health. What to do about their brokenness only leads to more chaos. So I look at being grateful for things that money can't buy, like favor, right? If God favors you, all you got to do is bow your head and pray about a situation. And I'm not saying I know, but I know he respects authenticity. Like, he sees you bowing your head praying for him to make a way versus let me go just rob a bank for $1 million, or let me just go scam somebody. Of course, you said your gift will make room for you. So that goes for prayer warriors too. In the light of faith, their gift is prayer, their gift is faith. That means you would see results of that. You know what I'm saying? Of the things that surround them. Like, no matter what this person go through, they seem blessed. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't pay to be blessed. I guess some people try to. Like, let me pay this priest to at work. And just like people be paying to be blessed, they'll pay to curse somebody. Like, these are things we do need to be aware of. You can invoke a curse over your life. Can we talk about paying to curse? Like paying money. Somebody who knows how to do spells and stuff like this just to curse somebody. That's why I said, let's go back and look at the difference between natural disasters and man-made disasters. You cannot sit there and judge a person on the same caliber. Uh, Somebody who might be struggling or vulnerable, recovering from a whole natural disaster. You wouldn't look at them like they don't have their uh, priorities in check. You would be more lenient about what they're going through because they are surviving a natural disaster or they're overcoming a whole natural disaster because nobody controls those. But when it's an unnatural disaster, to me, man-made disasters fall in that category. You should be able to pick up on it or sense that. You know what I'm saying? If you know that you didn't do anything out the ordinary, but your finances is the first step. The second step is like, okay, well, let me find evidence because if there has to be something that's man-made. They still trying to figure out right now if some of these California too. This is Satan, you better run and hide. You know, you want people so focused on the words that's coming off your lips that they don't notice what's happening to their money. They don't notice what's happening to their marriage. They don't notice what's happening to the relationships and like all together. Why would a person just stand there that stupid, not recognize they're giving people? Now, because they keep making my stream buffer, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off right here. But I might be back with a part two because this topic is that, you know what I'm saying, extreme and insightful and can teach us a lot about spiritual awareness. Manipulation always starts with words. Look at Adam and Eve in the garden. Eve was literally deceived by words. Even I wouldn't care if the reptile snake was just talking to her through telekinesis or it doesn't matter. It was some kind of communication that misled this woman, though she had clarity to begin with. She had clarity about everything in the garden. So all the snake could do was use words to manipulate her out of what she already knew. That's why people are encouraging people more. Hey, listen to your intuition. Or do people trust their own selves? That's what this come down to. They trust others more than they trust themselves. Just from a few mishaps that could have been whole man-made. If you get a person in a state of confusion by constantly confusing them, of course you can expect them to run back to somebody else saying, hey, what's happening to me? Or you can be so self-aware that you begin to tap into every time it's a man-made disaster versus a natural disaster. And I don't just mean like with global weatherization affairs. I mean like literally in your life. You know what I'm saying? But thank you guys for tuning in. I just want to come and give my commentary and reaction to this story. Uh, Positive wishes, thoughts, feelings, and healing to those victims who suffered at the hands of this uh fortune teller. Just because she was doing her work, that's what you got to pay attention to with this story. She was not Australian. Just like there could be people in America that are not true Americans, but they out here scamming people. They quick to holler what their lineage is and where they come from and how they know who they are, but you see they're in America. You know so much about who you are. Why are you not there? Why are you not there giving advisement and counseling and direction? They want to sit in places where they know the communities are vulnerable, where they know people are ready to spend a dollar to change their lives. I don't think people have a problem investing in themselves. It's the things they are investing in, the people that they're choosing to invest into. Because it's okay to sit here and scam vulnerable people, but it's not okay to expose scammers. A scammer might not know what it's like to lose money because the point of them scamming is to stack their money. They don't know what it's like being on the side of the vulnerable people who are just giving you the money to keep you rich. But maybe they'll soon find out. Because, see, if they start to take direct hits at their finances because people begin to wake up more and say, hey, she's right. Why can't we go seek knowledge on our own and walk in our own truths and have more insight on our own lives and our own lives versus paying, because paying for intel on your own life is crazy. It just sounds crazy. That's like giving somebody permission to know more about you than yourself, than you can know. And that's scary because once you give them that permission, can it be revoked? That person might choose to read. You went to this reader one time, and behind the scenes, this reader is looking at your life more than you're even paying them to. That's why I say it's a difference if you're sitting there paying them and encouraging them to look into your life versus you didn't even ask. This person just reading your life every day. This person just reading your future every day. And the next thing you know, you got all kind of stalkers and crazy stuff going on around you, and you don't even know these people. The thing is, these strangers might have tapped into your future too. They feel like they know your destiny, so they all just sitting around investing their time into trying to swap with you or uh, uh, just throw darts and things in the middle of your road and your journey. But don't worry, a person like me, I've already talked to God about it because that's crazy. That's something that you do come to God about. Like, who else could fix something like that for you? We're not talking about things you willingly signed up for. We're talking about people literally invading and becoming more invasive into your, because I don't see how your future is not your personal space. Like, what kind of weirdos are walking around here wanting to know your future? I don't understand that. Like, they're more invested in your future than their own. Make that make sense. How? But you don't, is you now giving your soul, your energy, your time, your money into a whole nother person's future. You might as well, find celebrity to idol if you want to do that. Read their futures every day. It's weird. Why are you sitting there only reading the futures of the vulnerable? I'm just asking. There's a lot about that seems suspicious. It's people out here, you should want to know their future.